We're shaking up the way people think about dressings and marinades.
Help save your friends and neighbors from eating bad salad dressing.
Yeah.
Get them some Semper Savage. Get them the Balsamic, or get them the Centurion, which is just a red wine Italian vinaigrette.
Welcome everybody to the JeffMara podcast. If you're listening to the audio version of this, there is the video version on YouTube. You can go to JeffMara podcast on YouTube. So tonight's guests are John and Stacy Currie, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and his military spouse. They are the founders of Semper Savage salad dressing and marinades. And tonight we're going to learn all about these salad dressing and marinades and get hungry and want to go buy some. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. So how did you get into the food business?
Well, so I can start because it starts with me back when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So it was slightly unusual. When I was middle school age or so, I really started to like salad. And if you're going to have good salad, you got to have good salad dressing. Mm-hmm. So there was a few restaurants that my family used to eat at. I used to really like some of their salad dressings. And I got frustrated when I couldn't go to the store and just pick something off and find it. So during high school, I worked at a mom and pop Italian place that also had a great salad dressing, but I really learned kind of how to make food there. And the secret being a great recipe, finest ingredients, put it all together and properly, and voila, you've got good food. So anyway, but I kind of dabbled there. I learned how to cook some things there and started experimenting. So I was probably in college when I first started experimenting with trying to make a salad dressing that I liked because I wasn't able to find something on store shelves. Mm-hmm. And I had very little real culinary background other than just flipping pizzas and making food at an Italian restaurant. And I just experimented over the years and years and years. And I made a lot of really bad concoctions, but kept getting a little closer. And sure enough, around the 2008, 2009 timeframe, I finally hit on a formula that worked. That was what I was aiming for initially. Mm-hmm. And so there it was. I had a recipe, started using it with the family, and friends and family started, going, wow, what is this stuff that you're serving us? And hey, we want some. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about putting it in a bottle? And so that's kind of where it started. Mm-hmm. And I really I came up with one recipe. Mm-hmm. Stacy has then come up with multiple other recipes.
I like to change things up a bit. So I started to try with balsamic vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and tried different recipes, but also using it differently, not just in salad. And so that's why we also say it's a marinade, because I use it to marinate meat, all meat, even fish, scallops. I've even tried it on squid, and also vegetables, roasting vegetables, grilling vegetables, and raw vegetables. So I tried to mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, it's really good. But then, you ask how we got into the food business. So we got a lot of encouragement from friends and family, and they would say, well, you've got to put this into a bottle. Why don't you put it into a bottle? I'm like, oh man, it's going to be too expensive. I don't want to take that kind of risk. So a couple of little stories happened that were kind of kicked us in the butt a little bit. One of them was our oldest daughter was away at school, and she missed the salad dressing because she, like me, she couldn't find anything like it on store shelves. And she made a Christmas gift to me, which was, we have one of them right here. This is one of the original jars. I'll show it to the camera. Oops. One of the original jars that she gave me, and it's got a little label she made on it. It says cool. John Currie's world famous salad dressing. So, and actually Stacy was in on this as well.
Yeah.
But she gave me a box full of these things. It was a case of them. It was like 12. And they were empty, of course. And inside it had a note that said, fill them up with salad dressing. So it was kind of a little bit of a joke. But we started looking at it, and we kind of got inspired.
He liked his label on the jar.
I like that label too. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's got it.
And it's in some of our videos too.
Cool.
Actually, the picture.
Yeah, it's a fun image, and there is a video of it.
That's great.
At any rate, I was dressed up in Roman armor, man. It was a great day. But anyway, and so that happened, and we kind of got inspired by that very closely in time. It was right around the same time where I was working in the Pentagon at the time, and a guy I knew and had been working with named Matt Talbert walks into the cubicle area one day, and somebody asked him about his barbecue sauce business. And I was like, what? I never knew you had a barbecue sauce business. So he's going off about, how many stories he's in and how it's going. And I was like, man, I never knew you did that. And he goes, yeah. I said, well, I got this salad dressing, what can you tell me? And so the bottom line is Mac mentored me every day. We would talk at lunch and stuff about what to do. And I just followed his formula, and I would come home and talk to Stacy and say, hey, look, here's what Mac is doing. And we made the decision to go ahead and do it. We were able to find a way to do it without taking too much monetary risk.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have very big plans for it. It was really just kind of going to be a family and friends and a farm stand here and there sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We just wanted to get it in the bottle first.
Yeah.
We just wanted to get it in the bottle. But we very quickly, once we got it into a bottle and we actually had this thing, we just decided that we wanted to push a little harder and try to make it into a successful venture. And the response from people was so uniformly excellent. Mm-hmm. And, everybody, they try it and they want more. Mm. They're like, oh my gosh, I've tried this stuff and now I can't go back. I think that's what a few people have said. I can't go back now because it's an all natural product. Mm-hmm. And it is homemade salad dressing in a bottle. This is what, if your Italian grandmother is making salad dressing, this is what she's serving it. Mm-hmm. Put into a bottle, and it tastes wonderful because the ingredients are pure. It's 100% pure extra virgin olive oil, vinegar, spices, and that's it. There's no food chemistry. There's nothing crazy going on here. Mm-hmm. And so when people taste it, they taste a huge difference.
Right. I went to an olive farm one time, and I don't know if you know this or not, and here in Texas is where I am. At the olive farm, they told me, as well as showed me and let me taste it, that even when olive oil is freshly pressed, like within, 3 months or so, if you drink that oil, I can't remember what the natural chemical is inside, but it burns the back of your throat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very fascinating. If you ever, there's got to be olive farms somewhere. If you ever get a chance to pop into somewhere and drink freshly pressed, and they kind of gave a whole class, lecture, whatever, and you should be able to look on the bottle and it's fresh because they'll put the date on there when they actually pressed it.
Wow.
And so, but I think it's great that you're using olive oil because I'll go to the grocery store myself and there'll be a ton of salad dressings and it's hard for me to find one I like. And then I kind of will find one I like and then they won't use olive oil. They'll use something that I'm presuming is cheaper, like a canola oil or some sunflower oil or safflower or whatever. So I kind of get disappointed on that. It looks like you're putting it in a glass bottle. Is that true?
That is true.
And
yes.
I like that as well because from what I've studied, plastic isn't really that good for you. And if you're going to use plastic, if you look at the little triangle, you should only use 2, 4, or 5. And if it's maybe even if, I don't know if yours is slightly acidic or not, it could be possibly leaching some of the plastic, which gets into your product. So again, thank you for putting your product in a bottle.
Yeah, we're trying to, I'm sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
First, I'm excited to go to an olive farm. So thank you for that information. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But you're right. We've spent a countless number of hours in the aisle at the grocery store looking at dressings and marinades and just really looking at what these other products have in them. Mm-hmm. And what people say about our products is that well, they're savage, they're flavorful, and you don't have to use as much. So if you pour a salad dressing on your salad, or even marinade, like if you're going to marinate some meat, a lot of times that the dressing or the marinade will fall to the bottom because it has a lot of water in it, and it doesn't stick to the product. And so with our products, you actually can use less product because that product sticks to the salad or to the meat or to the vegetables. And we didn't know that in the beginning. We actually started noticing that later on. I said, wait a minute, as I turn up my salad to kind of coat everything, everything's coated and there isn't anything left over at the bottom. So that's kind of an after effect that we noticed. It wasn't something that we actually planned on.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you would look at the labels and things and look at what's in products. And we've spent way too much time looking at labels in grocery stores. But if you look at ingredients, you're going to see that one of the first two ingredients is either going to be water or it's going to be an oil blend.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for that. It's because the products have been commoditized and the companies are having to reach for margin by cheapening their ingredients.
Right.
So, but it really affects the taste. And when you water something down, it affects how far it goes. So you might get a 12-ounce bottle and you might be used to putting half the bottle on a doggone salad or something in order to get the taste you're looking for. With ours, you're putting 2 tablespoons on it and you got enough.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a paradigm shift there, but this had started off as a personal quest. I just wanted a decent salad dressing for myself when I was in college, right? And it has become this global crusade to save the world from eating bad salad dressing. Here, please try this. And people have been impressed, certainly. Oftentimes astounded by how much their thinking and their taste buds had sort of shifted to this super watered down,
sugary, flavored with artificial flavors. Yeah, definitely.
And all of a sudden they're getting this homemade stuff.
Right.
And then I have to shake it up because while the Savage Centurion is delicious, I like to try new flavors. So I'm back in the kitchen trying to make different types of salad dressing that can be used. Some of them that I have right now that they're not on our website, they can be used as a salad dressing and a marinade. Some others, mainly you would use it like as a dressing or a dipping sauce. But I really like to try to make new ones. Somebody will give me an idea and I say, oh, I'm going to go try that. And so I really like to try to make new dressings.
Yeah, so Stacy is in the Semper Savage test kitchen.
She's in R&D.
Oh, she's whipping up new stuff. And we got about, I want to say 6 products. We've got the 2 we've launched, and we've got probably 4 behind that are
4 more that are ready.
They're ready.
Great.
And we'll launch them as soon as it makes sense.
That's great. Let me catch a couple questions here. Do you make ranch dressing? And if not, do you plan on making it, or do you recommend something?
So that's really a good question. So neither John and I really like ranch dressing.
Oh my gosh!
But,
I guess you're definitely from the north then.
But we also, I also understand that people do, and so all of our products are vinaigrettes. And so what I decided to do was look into making a ranch vinaigrette. Right. So it doesn't have that buttermilk in it, but it has all the herbs. And so that's one of the other ones that hasn't been perfected. And it definitely doesn't taste like that Hidden Valley type creamy ranch. But it has the herbs that you see in the ranch dressing minus the buttermilk.
It's funny. I was having a conversation on another show and the guy asked me exactly the same question. And we actually had a pretty decent long conversation about this. Because particularly like in the Midwest, when somebody says salad dressing, they mean ranch, so it's not lost on us that ranch is a very important, flavor. And, he said, well, what are you going to do about that? And I said, well, we know we have to address it in some way, but at the same time, when somebody from Wisconsin picks up a ranch, they have a certain expectation. And so we've got to, that's not in our wheelhouse right now. In other words, it's not our strength, and we know it's not.
Yeah.
So we've got a little R&D, but to answer the viewer's question, we have definitely thought about it. We don't make one right now. We're thinking about how to approach it.
Yeah. We've tried the vinaigrettes, the ranch vinaigrettes, and I mean, it's good.
Oh, it's good.
It's really good. We don't think it really tastes like what somebody thinks ranch might taste like, but we think it's pretty good.
Have you considered making an organic version of your salad dressing?
So you want to take that or me?
Well, I think one of the problems with organic is the cost. It's really going to drive the cost up, and then also that kind of definition of organic. So we're looking at where we get our products, and so kind of trying to keep that cost down. They are all natural. We don't add any other flavors. But right now we are not organic.
Yeah, right. It just didn't make sense for us.
I understand. You have to cut corners, and I don't know the business as you obviously know it, and so you've got cost. And I mean, there's one thing that probably most people have no idea of, and I never had no idea. I used to have another business, and I bought bottled water just to give away to clients. And the guy told me the most expensive part of the bottled water was the label. Oh, the label itself was more expensive than everything else.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen those costs on your end or considered that cost or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have to consider everything. And believe me, we had a big conversation today about cost.
Yes, we did.
We did. You've got to figure it all in. And of course, the label is actually a very small part of ours because the cost driver is extra virgin olive oil for our product.
And also shipping, to ship it out, it's very costly to ship.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. Where we have a Middle Eastern store. I think they're from, where are they from? Jordan. And they get a lot of imported stuff. And my wife and I were there one time, and they had olive oil that burned. It was fresh from Jordan. Maybe it was a 5-gallon. It was big, and he wanted to sell it to us for like $185 or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I liked it, but I didn't want to spend $185. I don't go through olive oil that fast.
Yeah, that's a lot of olive oil.
Yeah,
but it is expensive, and that's why you've seen so many products going to blends, because over the years it's become more expensive. Right. A great example is the Paul Newman. Paul Newman's original product was a red wine vinaigrette back in the 80s at some point, and it was really good. And actually, his products are still some of the better ones on the shelf. But it was olive oil. It was kind of like ours at the time. But even a company with that much power, shelf power, brand power, had to go to a blend because it was driving. Well, they were, that's the whole commoditization in the grocery stores thing. Yeah. That's their market, is to sell in the grocery stores. And if they were going to stay competitive, they had to change up their ingredients in order to keep their price point where it was. And the quality of the product has suffered. It's still a good product, but it's not as good as it was. We're not playing in that game. We're not doing the grocery store thing. We're online sales, direct to the customer, because we want to maintain control of the product, the quality, and we want to engage with our customers the way we want to engage.
Right.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I agree. If you don't mind me asking, how long have you guys been in business? And if so, and this is a personal question, you don't have to ask it or not, are you profitable? And if so, how long did it take for you to become profitable?
Remember the conversation we had earlier today?
Well, so here's the whole story is really pretty simple. We started a company in 2018, fall of 2018 in October. We worked for a solid year to get things to the point where we thought we could launch products.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
I mean, we're talking, artwork, recipes, lab testing, all the prep work that had to go into getting a product into a bottle and then getting it out to market.
Also, so it was January of 2019. So a few months after the company really started, that was our first batch.
That's right.
Of how many bottles? 600?
Roughly.
600 to 800 bottles.
Yeah.
And we gave all of that out, all of the 12-ounce bottles. We were shipping it to friends and family. People were saying, oh, somebody else wants to try it. So we shipped every bottle that we had out to people. And then we also made a second run, and probably a good, I don't know, 10 to 20% of that we're sending, we send out for people to try.
So that whole first batch became essentially market testing.
Right.
And uniformly, so we sent out about 1,000 bottles total of salad dressing with great results in terms of response. So to continue answering your question, we actually launched products for online sales on 11 November of 2019. So we've been around for about, 10 months now?
Yeah.
Something like that. So less than a year. We're not profitable yet. We're still getting this thing up and running. Made some serious changes this spring to completely redid our website.
Twice.
We
did it twice.
Yeah. It looks great.
That's great.
But, completely changed our website, changed the way we engage the public, changed our marketing scheme. And that all continues to evolve. So, we don't expect to be profitable for a little while yet, depending on how you want to define that.
And I also think that the reason why we changed all of these things is based on recommendations from friends, from families, from colleagues, people like you who we've talked to have given us suggestions, and we like to take some of those suggestions, the ones that we can, to heart. And so we that's really what started all of the changes.
Yeah, we were actually working with a marketing guy who we hired. He did a couple of test ads, got some real good traffic coming to the website, and he called me up and said, man, I got traffic going to your website, but nothing's happening there. I think they're not landing in the proper places and stuff. So we started digging in that and realized that we really need to make some sweeping changes. So we took the COVID pause as the opportunity to retool.
That's great. I can pass along a little something. I had a guest, a very recent guest that does a lot of online sales. And you may already know this, so I'm just kind of passing along. But she said right now, Facebook ads are like the lowest ever in pricing. And I think one other online, maybe TikTok or Instagram or something. But just for what it's worth, I'm just passing along the information. I don't know if you use Facebook ads or not to market your product.
We have used them in the past. We pulled back from doing some of that, largely because just from a business perspective,
maybe it's.
We just weren't getting a lot of traction with those, taking a slightly different approach right now.
Right, and I understand. I mean, I couldn't tell you how to write a great Facebook ad either. Like I said, I'm just kind of passing along the information.
Yeah.
How many products do you actually have on the market right now?
Two.
So you're one marinade and one. Your secret sauce.
They're both salad dressings and marinades.
So you can use them for either.
Very well.
Yep. One's Italian. So it's an Italian vinaigrette dressing, and then our marinade. And then the other one is a balsamic. So it's a balsamic vinaigrette. And actually, I was on I held my first podcast with some friends from school. And so one of my friends told me that she uses the balsamic vinaigrette, and she brought some peaches home, some fresh peaches, and it was a fresh peach, and she drizzled some balsamic vinaigrette on it, and she said it was amazing. Wow. And then we got into this conversation about, well, what if you grilled the peach, or what if you poached a pear? And so that's like something I had never even thought about. So these dressings are, people are telling us all the different ways that they're using them. Another person sent me a picture of a sunny side up. I'm going to actually put this on our website under recipes. It was a sunny side up wrap. So it was a breakfast sandwich, and it had, I think, a tortilla and then some sunny side up egg, however you like to cook it, and some other things, and I can't remember off the top of my head. And then she drizzled I believe the Italian vinaigrette on top of that. Mm-hmm. And then the other one was artichoke. Was it the balsamic?
Yeah, it was some art. You told me about the artichoke.
Yeah,
we're always getting feedback from people
telling us, and I said, give me that recipe. So she even had some backstory and said, her father, used to love eating artichoke, the leaves of the artichokes, and he would dip them in something, and so I think it was either butter and then somebody else dipped them in mayonnaise. So she took mayonnaise, and you have to check the website. So I'm gonna post that recipe probably by next week. Mayonnaise in one of our dressings, and mixed it together and dipped the artichoke in it, and she said it was absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. Guys on? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! So these are recipes that I've never made, but it's coming from people that have tried it and said that they've really loved it.
Are you guys on YouTube?
We are a little bit. I mean, there's some. I do some things from Iraq that are in a slightly different vein. Mm-hmm. I when I'm there, I'll often give updates on the situation. Mm-hmm. We have made quite a few Semper Savage videos that are all up there. Mm-hmm. Some of them are more entertainment, and others are more informative.
Right.
Depends on what you like.
Right. You guys may obviously know nothing about me because we just met 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But just a real quick and why I want to push you into YouTube. I am a professional YouTuber. I have children's channels. I have over 1 billion views, over a million subscribers. This podcast is new for me. Most of my stuff is in children and teenagers, and my kids are growing up, so I've got to kind of create something for me. So that's why I'm kind of slowly working on this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I even have a cooking channel and other stuff. So I highly recommend that you guys make your own, your channel just for your salad dressing. If you haven't, I wouldn't mix anything else with it because it'll probably perform best if it's by itself. And what's a great idea is all these people are giving you recipes, so you can go ahead and make a video of their recipe and say, hey guys, Susie wrote to me today and this is her recipe, so let's try it out and try our salad dressing with mayonnaise and artichoke.
Yeah.
That could be an extra income source just on its own, because if you get enough traffic there. So
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I just thought I'd pass that along. And,
thank you so much.
Yeah, we've I won't say we've struggled with that. First of all, Stacy is an amazing cook. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, hands down.
Thank you.
She's incredible.
But I'm very simple. I keep my recipes I'm amazed when people show me these dishes and then, tell me what they've done. Mm-hmm. Most of my recipes, I call them KISS. They're super simple recipes. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, we've got one company and it's got so many different elements, right? There's the cooking side of it, and there's just the product. And then there's kind of the surrounding things, like when we go out on family trips and things like that, and you want to kind of bring the product along and see the authenticity of the family. So we've kind of probably struggled a little bit with maybe getting too broad. I like to do a lot of silly Semper Savage videos.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we bring the product along. I mean, it's either in his backpack or my backpack, no matter where we go, abroad or up and down the East Coast or out to the woods.
I think it's great. And, the new second biggest platform now is TikTok, and you make 15-second videos. I mean, that would be super easy. You're at a picnic and you just go, pour up some.
So I'm on it. We just started it. So anybody that does view it, we're learning how to do that too. So
we're learning TikTok.
Unless you want to, I was going to say, unless you want to start dancing with it.
Nobody wants to see me dancing with it.
I can probably do some good dances. We can get to Maddie. Maddie might, or one of our boys might be able to.
Let me check and see. Let me catch a couple more questions here. One of them is just a nice comment that says, "You are such a beautiful couple. I wish you good luck."
Thank you.
She is beautiful, isn't she?
Well, you're my better half.
It looks like you guys really enjoy working together. Is that true? I mean, a lot of husband and wives. There's a lot of divorces going on now with COVID that they're stuck at home.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Today we had a little bit of an issue.
Yeah. But it's okay. I mean, there's so many things to think about. The production, the website, the social media, and then kind of all of the threads that tie that together. And it gets hectic. We both have full-time jobs. And right now, my job is getting ready to start back up. I'm an educator. And so there's so many things happening right now. And so when you add both of those together, the stress level can get a little bit high. But then I hear people, like I said, when my friend Vicky said she put the balsamic on peaches, and I said, what? That's crazy. And so those kinds of things bring it back together and I think kind of help us stay grounded.
It's always great to hear, like she said, to hear some great feedback. Kind of gives you another boost. Because sometimes we look at some things and we really question what we're doing. We're like, I'm like, well, we could just stop this whole thing and just put the money in the bank instead. Instead of continuing to feed a young burgeoning venture that still needs care and feeding. It's not walking on its own yet.
Sure, and I believe any type of entrepreneur, as you guys are, and by the way, I admire what you're doing because I think it's great, but any type of entrepreneur, nothing is a get rich quick. It's a grind. I mean, you got to grind at it. You got to work at it. You're lucky that you have your own jobs to fall back on.
Right.
Sure.
One of my other guests said that, being an entrepreneur is a good way to teach you some personal growth.
Absolutely. I mean, I would certainly agree. It's been great for us. We engage together in a completely different way than we would have otherwise. And we do have, getting back to having fun, we have a ton of fun with it. We'll say, hey, let's go out to this place when we go on a hike, or we
went to Gettysburg just 2 weekends ago.
Yeah. We've taken it snowmobiling. We've done, all sorts of things. And so we're always having a good time, and the product's there with us. And so we do have a lot of fun doing it, but it can be a grind, and you can really question yourself. And I think where we're very confident in the product. We're very confident in the products that we're developing because we understand that. What we don't understand, and where we start to have issues and start to question ourselves, we start to question the people we hire, is what's the best way to market it? What's the best, hey, here's the strategy we're using right now, but we're not getting any return yet. How much longer do we stick with this strategy? Because it's costing us money. Those are the kind of things that we don't necessarily have a thorough understanding of it. Right. I didn't grow up in the marketing business. I don't know everything there is to know about it. So.
Right.
And I also think something that's very important to us is building relationships, continuing those relationships with our friends and family, but then also building new relationships with people we meet along the way. And I think going back to when we hire and when we're working with people, we really want them to share those core values that we have as well, because it's otherwise it's going to be difficult to work together.
100% agree. And we've learned a few lessons along the way with regard to that you definitely, and it doesn't mean that somebody's bad. It's just that you're not in alignment, and if you're not in alignment, it's not going to work out.
Well, I think for one thing is that, sure, we would love to just keep selling and selling and selling our product, but we want people to buy the product who really, really like it. We're not trying to just say, hey, everybody has to buy this product. We want people to like that wants extra virgin olive oil, that want vinaigrettes, It definitely has that Savage flavor. But that might not be for everybody, and that's okay. We're not trying to push the product on everybody. We want people that are interested in trying it and kind of thinking about things, I guess, the way we do.
Well, and I think you mentioned relationships. We want to engage with veteran first responder community and their families. Families is super important to us. But even like with our affiliates, people like yourself who become affiliates, we want to stay engaged with them too. We've enjoyed and had a great time with every conversation we've had on every show. Every influencer we've interacted with has been a great positive interaction, and we want to stay in touch with them, and we want to keep a dialogue going about how can we assist you as an affiliate to the customer. We want to keep hearing from the customer on Facebook or via email. We want to keep that relationship going. So again, to our model of online sales and building relationships with customers, that's how we want to engage. We don't want to be a nameless, faceless product sitting on a shelf. We want it to be John and Stacy. And when you get a bottle of our stuff, you think about us and the friendship or the relationship that we develop through what our shared values say about the people that use our products.
Yeah, I think it's great. Let me ask you this: besides the new flavors coming out, is there anything else that you guys are working on with the public? I mean, that you're working on that you want the public to know about with your products?
Well, I think first off, we are looking at some other types of products, thinking about the ways people, like you were talking about plastics, the way people keep their salad, like for example, if they're going to work, or even now I'm working at home, but I actually make 2 salads at a time, one for the first day and then one for the next day. And so I have some containers that I like. We've also thought about, so thinking about kind of how, but I have no idea how to create or build a container that I like. And so that's kind of one idea. The second idea is to take our dressings to another level. And so I have conflicting thoughts about this, but a lot of people like the single serving containers. So whether they are in the packet where you squeeze or a serving cup, that people like that one serving. It's easy and they measure it out. And so that's something else. And then a third thing that I was thinking about was a kind of the dried ingredients. So you could add your oil and vinegar, but we would have the herbs and spices in a little packet. And again, thinking about maybe a carafe. We use mason jars. I made one of the ones today. I make all of our Italian and balsamics. We don't use the bottles. I still make them by scratch. I made your dressing yesterday. And so we each have a favorite dressing. And so I made his yesterday. I made some to marinate with today. And I'm always making new batches, but we just use a mason jar similar to the one that he showed you with his face on it. So those are some kinds of things that I think in the kitchen side of it. But John has ideas with apparel, and then we're also thinking about volunteering, helping and giving back to our either the families of our fallen heroes or some other really awesome cause. But we're still kind of looking. There's a lot of different causes out there, and we want to really pick one that's going to fit our needs.
Yeah. And so, I've got about 50 t-shirt designs. We've got hats.
My back.
Yeah. So, yeah, can you see it? So here's one. It's just our logo. It says "Shake it, pour it, eat it" on it. Semper Savage. But a lot of fun sayings and things. Let us toss your salad, kick them in the balsamic, amongst other things. Some of the more patriotic sort of veteran company stuff. but yeah, tons of that kind of thing. But we really pulled back from that as we were just trying to concentrate on the salad dressing. We didn't want people to get confused, and so we've pulled back from any sort of apparel. We'll send it out to if we go to a public event or something, we'll take a bunch of T-shirts and hats and things.
Right.
But we'll send them out to affiliates and stuff if they want it. For now, we're not selling that to the public.
Yeah.
Hey, since you worked at the Pentagon, maybe it would be a great idea if you could sell cases to the government to ship over to Baghdad for all the soldiers to have more delicious salads.
It would be. Unfortunately, there's some legal challenges with my current position and doing business with the government, which we could probably figure out a way around. But, honestly, I haven't pursued any large government contracts, honestly, because, I've worked so much in the military. I've worked so much in acquisitions and stuff in the aviation field. I know how complex it is to work through those contracts. And oh my God, I don't know if I want to deal with it.
And again, it goes back to the biggest problem is the weight.
Yeah.
It's because it's a glass bottle.
Right.
That it's it's all liquid and it's super heavy to ship over there.
Right.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I may take some back in a sack, when next time I go back on the airplane. But yeah, so these bottles weigh, what did we say they weigh? So it's a little over a pound.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I recall, a little over a pound.
Yeah.
Also, you've got customs issues going to another country, and
right.
But the cost is really the thing. Just our production cost is higher than most retail costs in stores.
I would assume so.
Because of the ingredients. So that would be a little bit of a hurdle on the military contracting side,
right?
Where they'd be like, wait, it's chow hall food. We're not looking for gourmet,
right?
And the chow halls overseas do very well considering what they have to do. Believe me, I've eaten a lot of chow hall food overseas. Yeah. They really do a good job, at least nowadays. And but we would like to get it into the exchanges. That's something that we do want to pursue. I just got to make sure I steer clear of any legal challenges with my current position.
Right. Or at least wait till you're retired.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, who knows when that's going to be.
Again.
A lot of times with salad dressings, if you're not careful, the opening is too big. And if you pour it, it like all comes out too fast. Have you ever considered making a product that you can screw to the top of your bottle so it limits, you really kind of have to shake it.
Thank you for a good idea.
I know. No, I haven't. And that's a great idea.
Thank you for a good idea.
Because really you don't need as much on this. And there's even times that I have poured out, especially because I use the mason jars. I use the wide mouth ones. They're just easier to clean. And there's been times when I've and it's been too much, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
to answer your question,
and I don't know how to get started on that. Like how
you probably have to call someone in China, to kind of get them to make it for you. Really, that's my guess. I mean, they make everything.
Well, so Jeff, it's interesting you mentioned that because that's something that's very important to us too. Like even with the apparel and stuff, is we make sure that everything's made in America. So we want our entire product line to be made in America, and that drives a little bit of cost too, but
but it's worth it.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. All right. Well, before we wrap it up here, do you guys have one last message that you'd like to share with the audience?
Join the crusade.
Yeah.
Join the crusade.
Yep. We're shaking up the way people think about dressings and marinades.
Help save your friends and neighbors from eating bad salad dressing.
Yeah.
Get them some Semper Savage, get them the balsamic, or get them the Centurion, which is just a red wine Italian vinaigrette.
And then when you do, you have to really shake it up.
Shake the hell out of it.
As it settles down there, you'll see the olive oil.
Yeah, you can find it. You can find us at sempersavage.com, and that's where we do all the ordering. You can find out all the recipes that Stacy's done. Got a whole page dedicated to that. If you want some ideas on how to use it, learn how to make a good salad. is one thing you can learn on there. And then hit us up on all the, we got a pretty good presence on all the other platforms. Facebook is probably the one we're strongest on. Love to hear from people.
TikTok is the one we're least strongest, but I'm working on that. I'm working on it.
At any rate, yeah, that's it. We just really look forward to engaging with folks. And we know you're going to like our product, but we just want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And
comment, send me a picture, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. I look forward to seeing the recipes.
Well, that's great. And one thing I think is great about your product is that you already know that you have a great product. You feel and you look confident about your product. Yeah. So, and I think once you know in any business, if you just believe in your product and you know it's good, it has to succeed.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so far success in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Just looking for some success in some of the other areas.
Yeah.
We're working. We're still new.
Keep working on it.
We are.
All right, guys, I wish you the best. I wish you massive success with your marinade, with your salad dressing, with your business in general. And, I hope by the next time this year, I can get back with you guys and we'll have another podcast and you say, you know what, we're millionaires now from our salad dressing.
We would love
from that screw on top, all it takes is something small like that.
That's right.
I'll give you one last thing that you made me think about this. And I don't know if you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is.
Okay. I listen to that guy a lot.
Yeah. And I love his thing is that ideas are nothing. It's execution that matters. So I'm giving you the idea. It's up to you to execute.
Yeah. Love it.
I hope it works out.
Well, thank you for having us. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. Really appreciate it.
It really was.
Yes, I agree. All right, guys. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thanks. You too.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.